we're going to explore vertex form of quadratic equations, how to use them, and a little bit of how they work. Now, quadratic equations are anything where x is squared, and it looks like that. It's a little parabola, and that's the vertex right there, 0, 0. Well, we're not going to be talking about standard form. That's an example of standard form, x squared and 6x. That's not what we're using. This is vertex form, x plus 3 plus 4. Now, it's very easy to find the vertex when it's in this form. You just take the opposite of what's with the x. You get negative 3 and 4. So instead of being at 0, 0, our vertex then goes to negative 3, 4. The whole parabola just travels along there with it. Very easy to graph it whenever it's in vertex form. Again, very simple. Minus 2 and plus 3 becomes positive 2, positive 3. We're going to go right 2 and up 3. The whole parabola just travels along that way. Let's try another one. This one has a positive 4 and a negative 2. We're going to make it a negative 4, negative 2. All you have to do is go to the left 4 and then down 2. Let's try one more of these. You have a negative 1 and a negative 3. Well, it becomes positive 1, negative 3. We're just going to go to the right 1, and then we're going to go down 3. Right 1, down 3. New vertex is 1, negative 3. Well, let's explore why this works. Well, we have a quadratic function like y equals x squared, and it looks like that. And let's go ahead and make a table of all these different points right here to see why is this going to have this shape. Well, all of our y's are going to be whatever the x coordinate is squared. You just take whatever the x is and square it. Let's start off with the easy numbers, 0, 1, and 2. If x is 0, well, you square the 0. 0 times 0 is 0, so it's 0, 0. 1 squared is going to give you 1, so it's the point 1, 1. And 2 squared is going to be 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Well, what about negative 1? Well, negative 1 times itself is going to be a negative times a negative is positive 1. And negative 2, negative times a negative, is going to give us 4. That's why it curves up. Everything's going to be positive. But what happens if we just add 2 to all of these? X squared plus 2. Well, our y coordinates are going to be whatever x squared is, and we add 2. Well, when we add 2 to y, we're going to get 6 and 3. And we're going to get 2. And we're going to get 3 again. And we're going to get 6. All of our y's, we've added 2 to them. So it's going to move everything up 2. Every point gets moved up 2. So our entire parabola and the vertex and everything is just going to slide up 2. Our y-coordinate just went up 2. It's not a big deal. But what's going to happen if instead of putting the 2 there, what if it's x plus 2? What if we add 2 to the x first before we square it? Well, let's see. We're going to slide it to the left. Why does it slide to the left? Well, let's start with 0. We're going to first take 0 and add 2. We're going to find out what is y for the x-coordinate that is 2 to the right of it. It's going to be 2 squared, which is 4. So instead of being 2, 4, it's now going to become 0, 4. Well, it looks like I didn't line it up exactly with my parabola, but you get the point. It becomes 0, 4. Let's try negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is going to get 0. So we need to find the y-coordinate of what 0 was. That's 0, 0, 0. So whatever the coordinate was to the right, that becomes the new y-coordinate. It's taking all those coordinates from the right 2 and making it the new y-coordinate. So let's go ahead and fill in the rest of these. We're going to plug in the negative 1. It's going to be 1 squared. That's going to be 1. And let's go ahead and plug in these over here to the left of that vertex. We're going to have the negative 3 and the negative 4. or negative 3 plus 2, that's going to be negative 1 times negative 1. Negative times a negative is a positive, becomes 1 again. And negative 4 plus 2 is going to be negative 2. Negative 2 times itself is going to give a positive 4 again. So all those coordinates that were to the right now become the new y-coordinates, and it slides everything to the left. And we just slide that over. That becomes our new parabola. Everything's shifted over. Now, you don't have to know why this works to pass a test, but you do need to know how to use vertex form, so let's do some more examples of that. Let's go ahead and try this. We've got plus 1 and minus 2. It becomes a negative 1 and a negative 2. Anything with the x does the opposite. So there's our new vertex, and your parabola is going to look something like that. Let's try another easy one. We've got minus 1 with the x becomes positive 1, and you bring down the negative 2. 1 to the right, 2 down, and your parabola will look something like that. But what happens if there isn't a number with the x? Well, it's just going to become a 0. It doesn't move at all. It stays where it was. So it becomes 0 and a positive 2. Move up 2, goes up just like that. In fact, we already graphed that one before. And what if there's no coordinate over there on the y? X has a minus 2, becomes positive 2. Well, you just bring down a 0. There's nothing there, you write 0. So it goes 2 to the right. And there's your parabola. Looks just like that. So using vertex form makes things very easy to be able to graph. It's very simple to use. If you have things in vertex form, just move it to the opposite of whatever's with the x.